Hello, everyone, and welcome back into the Concord Experience. It is I, your digital mouth of the Esports South, Justin Smith, the Sig Tall Lord, and I'm joined, as always, by our incredible co-host, Johnny Boy, John Rose, the brand and marketing director here at Concord Esports. We could not be more pleased to be joined today by our esteemed guest, Rocket League player for the Gray Squad, playoff participant this year. Top four.
Maybe top three.
Maybe.
Taylor, hey, how you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
Good. No one ever asks that.
Nobody's considerate like me.
Everybody always asks, where is Justin? Not how is Justin.
To be fair, I asked to be here, so.
Well, we are going to talk a little bit about your very unique background in esports. But first, general world of esports, is there anything going on you want to talk about, John?
No, major, 3 qualifiers for COD started. So other than that, for the realm of esports that I watch, we're kind of in a down period. Qualifiers or little tournaments for Apex are still going on. The next big LAN hasn't happened yet, so we're just kind of waiting.
Now that major was going to be in Raleigh, but it was removed. Removed from North Carolina, and they took it to a private venue out west.
Yeah, so let's actually talk about that. Why? They did that 1 year. I don't know. I haven't read too much on to why it's removed from North Carolina. We were me and my brother and I, we were getting a hotel, we were getting tickets, we were going, and so I'm glad I waited on, because you couldn't get the tickets yet, they don't go live, but I'm glad I waited on getting the hotel. But yeah, they moved it, and now they're doing it not in front of a live audience, Taylor. So they completely stripped one of the majors away and made it a private event.
Well, they had, did you see the COD League announcement today?
Yeah, I saw today they announced new league structure changes, like that, which is awesome because they're doing it to help the players. I haven't read into it, so I don't know too much about it, if it's good or bad, so I don't know. I don't know about it.
I know that all of the league fees that were that were due are basically they got rid of them.
Oh, wow.
And it was something to do with it was kind of, I don't know, it sounded like revenue share to me in a way.
Okay.
But basically they're making it easier for smaller
orgs to make money.
Yeah, and get in. So
I need to look into that then.
Yeah, because it was super dominated for years with COD League. So when they franchised.
With a lot of the leagues, I know for League of Legends, they actually took the same steps last year where they suspended franchise fees. They changed the amount that teams get in terms of their revenue share, and they started including additional ways to monetize in-game where larger portions go to the teams. And it looks like, I think that's the play across the board for all the major games. It's really taken it like a nice hybrid of the pre-franchise days while still enabling the large franchise players to find success and monetize.
That's where I saw everything kind of go down. So everything went to franchise, Valorant, Overwatch, COD, all went to franchise, and teams couldn't afford to pay.
They were taxing.
Yeah,
they were taxing.
Between what COD was how much was the franchise fee?
Both, I think it was $40 million entry.
Yeah, that's insane.
I think to be in both OWL and CDL, I think it was that combined.
You saw 100 Thieves, for example, the most profitable, most revenue of anybody. Yeah, and so there's no way out, even for 100 Thieves, which is, they just sell hoodies anyway, but you know what I'm saying?
Streetwear.
Yeah, they're like a lifestyle brand, and even with as well as they were doing, they still couldn't afford to stay in the way that it was. So thankfully Rocket League never went that way. There was talk about it, but I'm glad it didn't.
Franchising can be good, just not right now. It's way too new and way too expensive right now.
Yeah.
I think that there should be protections for larger orgs that do invest more in the scene. But I don't think disqualifying smaller teams through franchising is the answer, because when there's no stakes, crap orgs just can exist.
I love CWL format where it allowed these Cinderella stories, and when you find your next set of pro players, where as of now you kind of have your challengers players, but there's 10 10 to 12 challenger players that just keep getting cycled through. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man. Like, he didn't work the past 2 years. The team's picked him up.
No, but like, I forgot what I was gonna say. You know, I could see a structure where it's like a franchise league, but you have like some sort of relegation, where like challengers teams or like, I guess if we're talking about COD specifically, like franchise teams can't have team and challengers and like the higher echelon of that league.
Well, COD does. They have a Breach Academy.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like you shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
And that way you can incentivize challengers to be like, if you finish top 2 in challengers, or if you win challengers, then you have a chance to move up to the top league. Whereas like the bottom 2 teams or something like that will, you know, have to either play like a relegation tournament or something like that against the other teams, and whoever wins that or top 2, they move up and the other 2 move down. Like, it's
similar to what NSCC does for Legends Division.
Yeah.
Valorant actually does that in VCT. They actually have 2 spots that are designated, like franchise teams can't go into them, and it's meant for smaller players to come in and out.
And, well, I was just gonna say that, like, if you have a team that moves up, they have basically a whole season of revenue share from the league, and like that's what supports these small orgs that, you know, maybe they're not paying like their players a full salary or something like that, and it gives them the ability to grow and build more on their roster and so on and so forth.
And keep those players that got them there, because that's what's endemic to a lot of esports, is you find that player that gets that brand there, and then that player's a hot commodity that doesn't have anything but a 1-year contract.
Generally speaking, the first game, or the first, I guess, tournament style for COD the past couple of years, like I don't think they did it this year, was a Pro-Am. And they actually invited Challengers players to play in it, and the Challengers teams would beat some of the Pro teams. Like, but some of the Challengers teams were very notable players that had been in the league before, up and coming people that you know in the scene that are next up. But they've beaten Pro teams, and I like seeing teams get their shot. That's how we found Envoy on them when they were on Gen G and BO4, and then now he's on Toronto Ultra. He won championship in Vanguard. So that's how you find the next level of talent is through like open brackets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the most we've went in depth in terms of global esports in a while. That was a fun conversation. I know with a lot of the topics we cover, we don't really get the opportunity due to the format of the podcast to go in depth. But if there are any hot topic esports subjects you want us to talk about, just comment them down below. We'd absolutely love to see your input. We at Concord are very proud to share some big news with you, and a lot of this comes from the branding work that John Rose did. John, tell them about it. So
as of today, around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, we found out that we are finalists in the ESPORTSU Awards that are going to be hosted in Arlington the same weekend as May Madness. We are up for Program of the Year and Program Impact Award. So we are one of 5 finalists. I believe it's 5. I think that's what Austin said right now.
It's 5.
One of 5 finalists out of 200 nominations per category.
And I cannot stress how much of an honor it is. Every school that was nominated had merit to its nominations, but to be listed amongst some of the names on the survey, it really fills my heart. It fills my heart, and it makes us so appreciative for our players and our community for putting us in this position to be able to be recognized. So thank you so much. But the work isn't done. We really need your help to make sure we reach it to the top of the vote. So over the next few days, make sure you check in. You can vote once per day. Next 2 weeks, you can vote once per day.
Is it once per day?
It's once per day. Okay. Just make sure, save that link. It's shared in our social media.
We're going to put it in the doodly-doo down below as well.
We value the work that we do, and recognition would certainly help us go a long way in doing a lot more for our students and the greater West Virginia community that we're so proud to be a part of.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about a community member we got with us today. A freshman face here in terms of Concord Esports, but you're not a freshman because Taylor, you did go to a junior college before this, Johnston Community College. you were recruited to Concord by one of the greatest Rocket League players to touch Concord's campus. What is your take on Concord? We call this the Concord experience, and you probably have one of the more unique vantage points as you are. You've played collegiately in the junior college leagues, which are they're healthy.
Yep.
Like there's a lot going on in those leagues for Rocket League.
Yep.
You've had some academia under your belt, but this is your first time at a state college. What's your experience here at Concord? Tell me about it.
I think it's obviously like a little bit of a shift from what I'm used to. I'm from North Carolina, where things are a lot more flat
and taller.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to build stuff on flat ground. But no, like as far as like the environment wise, it's definitely a change, going from somewhere you've always been, in a way, to somewhere completely different. And I think, especially over the summer leading up to when we all got here, and I say we, like the Rocket League guys. Before we all got here, like we were extremely excited to be here and be around each other and kind of finally get that connection. So obviously coming in, looking forward to it a lot. And then when we got here, it was pretty much everything that we could have imagined it being. I think every program or even every school like has its its hiccups here and there, but overall, like me and as far as I know, the other guys like don't want to be anywhere else, barring some like crazy circumstances. But like
everybody listen, like there's always a chance. That's what he's saying.
Hey,
like, you could reach out.
No, yeah. Don't be like me. I just cause trouble, so that's.
It's a spice in the soup at Concord, and I can say from my fresh eyes into the program, you bring a different dynamic in the fact that one, you have experience in your life. You're not a high school freshman coming to school.
I'm old.
But even more than like players that are seniors with us, you have a unique perspective from the fact that you've completed something. You have that first degree under your belt, which a lot of our students don't have the benefit of saying, even though they might be further along academically than you have. So that's impressive, man, and we're tickled pink to have you. Probably the most unique thing about your experience is you have an NIL deal. This is incredibly unique, and over the past few years, one of the most hot topic issues in collegiate sports, much less esports, is the impact NIL deals have had on major competitions like NCAA and college football. Can you give us a little bit of insight into your NIL deal, how you got that?
Yeah, so I'll just start by saying that when I first decided, because I took a couple gap years after high school before I decided to go back to school, and really it was like during the pandemic. That was like everybody's like, let me make a life change. So when I initially went back to school, it wasn't in any way related to esports. It was just I was going to like get an education and like better my life. But it wasn't until I think it was my first semester at Johnson Community College, but it was their second year of having esports, and so I kind of just got introduced to it, in like the way any school sends out stuff like through email. They're like, well, we're having tryouts, so on and so forth. So I showed up and then like got on the team and then went from there. But as far as the NIL deal, it was kind of a unique situation where it happened. So we hosted a LAN at JCC, and it was a Stay Plugged In LAN, so we're all familiar with them.
Great people.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And just happened to be that a company called Revel and Vic, who normally represents college football players, well, I guess just traditional college athletes as well. They were there to talk about how they wanted to bring in somebody for esports, because it hasn't been done before. It was never done. So I talked to them, and it was kind of a good situation, between actually playing the game and being good at it, but also having a good social media following. Is kind of what helped secure that for me. After meeting them a couple weeks later, they reached out and they said, like, we want to do this. And so I was like, okay. And we did that.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. I love to hear stories that really show the opportunities for students in esports. You mentioned your social media following. You also work with our program for our short form content, which has been incredibly successful between you and Ritz, really grinding out the content. How do you think you picked up those skills?
I think, when I was like an early teenager, like popular names, like FaZe and stuff like that was like first really picking up on YouTube and things like that. So I think like everybody my age especially wanted to, like, that's what they wanted to do. Like they wanted to be a YouTuber and play COD and trick shot and all this stuff. Like everybody wanted that. And it's crazy at the time, because I think of like, sometimes I feel like I take it for granted, because like I have all the stuff to make content and do all the stuff that I want now, and sometimes I like feel like I'm lazy because I don't do it all the time.
In the same way.
Yeah, so I think just learning from the people that have done it for so long has been super crucial for me, and especially now because short form content is still relatively new. Like of course we had like Vine, and then what was it, Musical.ly turned into TikTok. And so it's all relatively new, and a lot of it was just trial and error. So I just kind of figured out what worked and stuck with that, and it's still working, so I keep doing it.
You cracked the code, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's hard work. It's hard work, it's repetition, and it's a whole lot of failure. I know when we're talking about coaching and how to improve individually as a player here at Concord Esports, we talk about a lot of the importance of failure. So that's really cool. It's really cool that you were able to solve that and really make it a part of your brand, and it seems like it's paid dividends.
So far. So, it can only get better. I mean, worst case scenario, like, as far as like any person that does like content, people talk about like falling off and stuff like that, but like worst case scenario, you're just right back where you started. So it's not like you've lost anything. And it's especially hard now. Like you look at content and it's hard to find uniqueness in what you do. So really it's just the small things. So that's the big thing. Just making sure that you're staying consistent and trying to be at least a little bit creative.
Well, I guess my last question would be, Rocket League had some really unique opportunities over this past academic year, these 2 semesters. You guys got to compete in show matches here, the Maroon Squad, but you got to participate in LANs as a sub. You did get playtime at the BBB this spring. You traveled to the BBB in the fall, and I believe y'all also went to some out of state in Virginia as well, right?
South Carolina.
South Carolina?
Oh yeah, Florence. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, between all those, and between playing with the 6 Rocket League players we have, what do you think is your favorite memory so far?
Gosh, it's you talk about like going to LANs and doing that. That's really it. Like just being able to travel like with your friends and compete and like experience this stuff together is the biggest thing. And it's so unique because like a lot of programs, that's where like I see Concord as like a step above or like a little bit just further into the space than some other programs are. Like the school and the program allows us to do these things. And I just got to show up,
Yeah.
Just show up and
everything else is covered.
Yeah. So it's, just spending time with the guys is like the biggest thing. And it's always a learning experience. So, being able to sub for the Maroon team for the past year and continue to learn from them all the time is like super crucial to growth. And so, you know, just growing together and growing as a person.
That you're gonna hit us with the Boston College who's like eating the food, like the from a Sweet 16 a couple years ago, and they were like, "What's your favorite memory?" And he was like, "Eating food."
Yeah.
I don't know. We ate pretty well when we go to these lands. I loved our chicken tour. I hope we get to do that again.
Oh yeah, when we hit Slim Chicken, Raising Cane.
If they sold chicken and they were in the greater University of Kentucky area, they were on the list.
What was the place across from the hotel called?
Slim Chickens.
Slim
Yeah.
Chicken.
That place is gas.
Yeah.
That place is good.
Yeah.
I put it everywhere, just everywhere, and put it in my belly right now. Well, this we're gonna wrap it up. Taylor, is there anything that you'd like to plug?
Not really, actually. I think you know,
Keeping it secret. That's the push these days.
Yeah.
It's like they have to discover the content themselves.
yeah, no, you know, I'll say that like anybody that watches this content and maybe is coming to Concord or like is researching Concord to go to in the future, like I think that once you are actually here and you realize the things that are going on that the general public doesn't see, then like you'll have no doubt that you're in a place that you want to be. So the biggest thing is just, you know, being a place where the school and the program staff care about you as a player and also care about you like as a person. So which is big. That's, you know, that's how we have the culture here. It's, you know, it's just one big family at the end of the day, even though some of us argue sometimes, but that's, you know.
Well, families do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes it the best.
Friends and families do that.
Yeah.
Well, John, anything you want to plug?
We're going to have the voting link to vote for Concord Esports in the doodly-doo down below, as well with the link to our TikTok, Twitter, or X, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure you check out all the socials. Vote for Concord Esports for Program of the Year and Program Impact Award of the Year. It truly means a lot to us, and we'll see y'all in Arlington in May. We've got 2 weeks.
Did you say doodly-doo?
I call it the doodly.
It is my favorite YouTube term, and I think it comes from the Green Brothers. Folks, we are finishing out the last few episodes of this season of the Concord Experience, and it has been an experience. Make sure you check out the other videos on the channel, but make sure you keep an eye on the videos for the next few weeks as we go over the end of our season and prepare for one heck of a fall. It's really gearing up to be something spectacular. So thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.